Get 'em, Jimmy, where Lil Shaq at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated public sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Apologies, our StreamYard crashed for some reason. We had over 200 live. We were just beginning NBA, and we have a spectacular expert. We don't want to just let it go. We still want to fire off here on an 8-game NBA card. So, obviously now there is 8 people from the 200 that we had. Rem most in the house. Thank you, Rem. But apologize to all you guys who are watching our stream and it dropped. So we started up another stream, and this is a beauty NBA card, even though college basketball is such a big deal today. So we're gonna fire away right now. Nunya in the house, Imp 13. Thank you guys. Let's get to work. This is always just comes down to the work, and we've done the work. And I want to make moves here. Coming off a 1-1 day in college basketball, but we went 11-2 last week. Oh, sorry, coming off 1-1 day in NBA. We went 11-2 in NBA last week. We're 7-5 plus 1.45 units this week. And look, I need to keep climbing out of this hole that I dug to start off the year. So, and we have just the man for the job. So please welcome from Las Vegas, Nevada, the freshest man in the sports capping industry, Dutch boy. Dutchy, thank you for your patience, man. We went long in college basketball, and then the stream dropped. Thank you for your patience with us. How are you on this Friday afternoon, my man?
Man, we're good, my man. We're good. Ready to get back at it. Took yesterday off. It wasn't too appealing. Dummied it down a little bit after the rough Friday we had last week, Jim. Thought I was seeing things pretty clearly. Had a rough one. So less moves. I have 3 profitable days in a row for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I only had 3 bets. So might not be the best, but a lot of leaning. But we do have some action here. But I am dumbing it down a little bit. Less bullets, a little higher units, and I'm liking the outcome so far.
I love it. Yeah, you got to switch things up from time to time. I was on the Magic yesterday, which was I was quite confident in the spot, even though, it was a nice spot after they lost so bad to San Antonio. But I was also on the Nets minus 2.5. So I certainly saw that poorly, or maybe just not believing in the magic that's happening in Sacramento enough. I know it's happening. There's also 2 questions. I'm just going to set it up because I'm going to ask you this at the end of the show. So I would like to move on Clippers and Bucks futures today.
Okay.
I just wanted, and before the games go off, I think we're getting great numbers on the Clips, 7-1 to win the conference, 14-1 to win all. So I just wanted to set that up here because I'm going to ask you about that at the end of the show. So I just want you thinking about those 2 spots here.
Yes, sir.
Let's get to work. 7 p.m. Eastern, the Philadelphia 76ers, and now your favorite to win MVP, Joel Embiid. Even money right now at most books, and your favorite over Jokic, who's at about plus 130 at some books. 46-22, 20-12 on the road are the Sixers. Charlotte Hornets 22-49, 11-23 at home. Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Joe Yurkovich in the house. Rants. Bo Jackson, razor sharp picks. Thank you guys for coming over here when our stream dropped. Thank you for fighting the good fight and coming over here and joining us. Sixers, Charlotte, Spectrum Center. Philadelphia 5-0 over their past 5. That's when I do my pace stats, but they have won 6 straight. Over their past 5, they're playing at the pace 96.20 possessions a game. Charlotte 2-3, playing at the pace of 97.90 possessions a game. And I guess Michael Jordan has seen enough. I guess he's seen enough, looking to sell. I mean, these franchises are skyrocketing. I get it. The Ottawa Senators could go for $1 billion. I mean, that's just nuts. Absolutely crazy that the Ottawa Senators, they're getting offers for 800, 900,000 or 800, 900 million. And it looks like they could even go for a bill. Unbelievable. Sixers, Hornets. The Hornets opened up at, sorry, let me go over the line history. I got the cash up here. Let's get over to the line history. The Hornets opened up at some offshores as 9-point dogs. At Pinnacle, as they bring out their lines a little later, they opened up as 10-point dogs. They're now 10.5-point dogs. Totals wise, it's opened up at 227. It's gone up a half point to 227.5. 33% of the tickets are on the Hornets and 57% of the cash. I've been on shows with you this year. I feel like deja vu immediately. I'm like, oh, well, now the market isn't moving in the Hornets direction, but we've seen that happen. We've seen sharp, bigger bets on the Hornets, and then my money goes down the fucking toilet because I bet the Hornets. I don't want to go through that again, even though Kelly Oubre is playing some great ball. 76% of tickets, 92% of cash is on the over. That's a lot of money on the over for to only move up a half point. They both play way too slow of a pace. Way too slow of a pace. And Jimmy said, or Bo saying he's going to send me a video about Celtics and Celtics Clippers. I'm Bucks Clippers, but I'd like that. Sun Dizzle says that he might bid on the Hornets and giving you a shout out for the hat here. We'll all be hanging out with Sun Dizzle here in a minute. Sixers coming off their 6th straight win, 118-109 at Cleveland on Wednesday. Embiid went for 36, Harden 28. They did turn the ball over 18 times. And Charlotte, in their last game, turned the ball over 19 times. Can these teams clean up that act? This is the win against Cleveland, who were on the second half of a back-to-back themselves, is beginning a stretch of 7 road games in an 8-game span for the Sixers. And they're running nice on the road. They've won 6 or 7 on the road. Charlotte comes in off its 3rd straight loss, 120-104 at home to Cleveland on Tuesday night. So then on Wednesday night, back in Cleveland, Philadelphia beat them. Oubre missed a game due to a sore back. He came back, went for 28. He's gone for 25 or more in 5 of his last 7. Oubre has been the leading scorer in the last 7 games for the Hornets, leading scorer for the last 7 games that he's played. The Hornets have lost the first 3 games of this season-long 5-game homestand. They've lost 5 in a row at home overall, and MJ just doesn't want to watch it no more. Take it away for us, Dutch. First game on the board, Sixers, Hornets.
Yeah, man. Say what you will about MJ and Jordan, in the little unsuccessful shit show he's had in Charlotte. I mean, it's still a good move for the dude. I mean, what, 180 million, now it's worth 1.7 billion. MJ continues to win at the end of the motherfucking day. But yeah, man, this is probably a 6. The line is very telling here. I think it's high for a reason. As you said, Pinnacle dropped it, and it's only continued to move. Yeah, they played back on December 11th in Philly. The Sixers put it on them by 18 as they were 11-point favorites in that game. With the better, healthier LaMelo and crew in Philly as well at that time for Charlotte. It's a high number for a reason, in my opinion. The Hornets have been a fade at the crib. They are 13-21 against the number at the house. So I would only look Philly here. Nothing I'm going to be making official. They did have, Charlotte did have 2 days off. That's something, you could say. Oubre has been balling. And of course, our boy Razor Sharp Picks has been cashing on that PJ Washington 3 prop, and he likes that today over 1.5 minus 160. So yeah, man, they have some guys that can put the ball in the bucket, but overall, if you're backing Charlotte, you're losing money here. And if you're backing the Philadelphia 76ers, you've been making money here. So I wouldn't complicate it too much. If you're looking to bet this game, I would fade Charlotte at the house, and I would look more towards honestly full game. You can maybe try to cut the number down, but in this situation, Philly knows their leaps and bounds better than this team, so they would not be nervous whatsoever at halftime being down even in this game. Do I think that's a possibility? Not really, but they can flip the switch at any time and be up by double digits, in my opinion.
And we've seen them do that. We've seen them do that. We've seen them down,
cruise.
6 in the first half and then outscore a team by 18 or 20 in the third quarter. A lot of love for your Sonics hat, Dutchy. Joe, you're saying Embiid went for 53 last matchup. Rant says Sixers team total maybe, says Sixers going to smack them. And Philly on the first half of a back-to-back. That makes me want to bet the under. It's gone up a half point, and there's 92% cash on the over. I'm not going to just sit here and say all those guys are wrong, but it certainly does make me want to. LJ from H-Town says just take Embiid points and Harden assists and call it a night. Mike M says 76ers 47-15 against the spread spot. No action from Dutch or I right now. Let's move on to a game I'd like to have action on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Golden State Warriors 36-34, 7-27 on the road at the Atlanta Hawks 34-35, 18-15 at home. State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. I had the Clippers -2.5, and Steph can go for 50, and they still can't win on the road.
Yes, sir.
So I would like to keep fading the Warriors on the road. I do. And there's Wine Time saying all over these Hawks -4. Thank you, Bo Jackson, for sending that to me, my man. Warriors 2-3 over the past 5, playing the fast pace, 103.15 possessions a game. Atlanta 2-3, playing the pace of 102.70 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. A huge move to the Hawks. Oh, I'm late to the party. I'm going to stay late. I can't get on it now. This opened up at -1 in some offshores. It opened up at -2.5 Pinnacles. Now -5. Total wise, this opened up at 248. 248. It's now at 247.5. That's just nuts. They are playing at the fast pace, but I mean that's just absolutely nuts. 75% of the tickets and 97% of the cash is on the Hawks, and the books are concerned. I could have bet this last night. I almost did. Stupid. 53% of the tickets and 72% of cash is on the under, and it's dropped a half point. This is crazy high. Joe Yurkovich says Curry could sit. Mike M says Golden State Warriors 0-9 against spread last night. Roadies, no Draymond. Daniel Lopez says Warriors defense is not it. Trill OG play of the day is the over 247.5 from LJ. Wow, not scared of this enormous number. Wow. Okay, let's copy and paste that here. Wild. So the Warriors had their modest 2-game winning streak snapped in a 134-126 loss to the Clippers on Wednesday. Curry puts up 50, averaging 30.1 on the year, 20 of 28 from the floor, 8 of 14 from 3, and they lose. Draymond Green won't play unless they rescind the league, and they're not going to, so not going to be in lineup. Klay Thompson, only 15 points. He scored 54 against Atlanta in that double overtime game back on January 2nd. Warriors are playing their second game of a 5-game road trip, to 7-27 on the road. 29-7 at home. That's the 7th largest disparity in home and road records in league history, and the largest since the 88-89 Denver Nuggets. Hawks coming off their second straight loss, 136-115 at home to the Timberwolves on Monday. Trey went for 41. Take it away for us here, Dutch. Warriors, Hawks.
Yeah, man. Well, I should be happy, I guess, because I got this last night at 1.5, but not really for show purposes, because this is the freshest look. It really is, man. This is the one I was very excited on to get on last night, and it's really due to the fact that I didn't know, I just figured they're looking to tomorrow, bro. They're going to Memphis tomorrow. They got the Grizzlies on deck. We know they got their little. That's what they're worried about. Draymond is probably pretty happy he gets the extra night of rest to go against. That little boy Brooks over there. Them two are going to be battling. So I really like this look here for Atlanta, especially at the way, as you touched on it, how suspect the Warriors are on the road. They are 9-25 against the spread on the road this year. Have, as the chat did mention, have lost 9 straight. Have not covered 9 straight on the road, and are 1-4 ATS last 5 in Atlanta. But as you mentioned, these teams did play in January 2nd, overtime loss by Atlanta in the Bay with no Capella, and they dropped 141 points on this team. So now you get them back at the crib, where they have lost 2 straight at the house, an embarrassing loss, obviously, to the Timberwolves. I mean, they were down by 24 at halftime. It wasn't close if you watched it. It literally looked like varsity versus JV. Minnesota came in there and just pretty much waxed them. Quinn Snyder and the boys. So I look for them to come out. They've had 3 days off. A good coach, new coach, make the adjustments. I expect role players to show up at the crib. I like Atlanta an awful lot here, but I don't know if I could make it. We're talking big swing here.
Yeah, no need, and maybe Steph is declared in, like Joe Yurkovich is saying, and the line moves all the way back. So.
Yeah. So just wait, but. It's definitely an Atlanta spot, and they will eventually run these boys out the gym.
Great job getting the -1.5. I mean, could this total is saying that Steph's going to be in 147.5. There's no way this total would be at that number without Steph, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I do agree. I think he plays. I mean, he just had a great game. He's probably feeling himself. He's one of those guys who you don't really see him taking off when he's healthy. So I would expect him to play.
All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board. Great job getting the 1.5. Trill OG play the days on the over 247.5. So I imagine LJ is expecting Steph to be in the lineup. All right, let's move on. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Washington Wizards 32-37, 16-20 on the road at the Cleveland Cavaliers. 44-28, 28-8 at home at Rocket Mortgage in Cleveland, Ohio. And I have had the pleasure of watching LeBron play there. It was it's a fun little area, that downtown core in Cleveland. Take a look at the line history here. Cleveland opening up at -6. They're now -5.5. From a totals perspective, opened up at 220.5. Now 221.5. Take a look at the line or the cash flow here in this spot. We have 25% of the tickets and 52% of the cash on the Wizards. So bigger bets coming in on the Wizards, and that spread has gone from 6 to 5.5. That's interesting. Total wise, it's gone up a point, and you have 36% tickets, but 84% cash on the under. Wizards look is appealing to me. I'm surprised that this total has gone up a point. These two teams are playing at a very slow pace. Washington, 96.7 possessions a game. Cleveland, 96.2 possessions a game. Wizards snapped their 3-game losing streak with a 117-97 win at home over Detroit on Tuesday. Beal went for 36, 13 of 15 from the field, 7 assists, 6 boards. He's locked in. No Kyle Kuzma. He's day-to-day with right knee soreness. Kispert played in his place. I mean, they need Kuzma. I don't know if he is available here. Cavs come in off having their modest 2-game winning streak snapped in the second half of back-to-back and a 118-109 loss at home for Sixers on Wednesday. LeVert went for 24. Donovan Mitchell went for 21. Darius and Chetty each went for 15. And no Jared Allen. 4 straight games with the bruised right eye. Look, Lamar Stevens can't play that role.
Right.
They need him. Maybe the Wizards are the spot here, +5.5, especially if there's not going to be Jared Allen. Take it away for us here, Dutch. Third game on the card, Wizards, Cavs.
Yeah, man. Kyle Kuzma will play in this game. Obviously, as you touched on, no Jared Allen. The Cavs have had their way with them so far this year. They're 2-0 against these boys, beat them both by double digits. I just think I can make a case here for the Wizards, but I think this might be a Cavaliers spot here, to be quite honest with you. A little concerned, obviously. I do think they're light on the bench, and I do think they're a little soft as well with Cavaliers. So not having Jared Allen out there is a worry. But they have 21-13-2 against the number at the house. And you get them in a situation where they lost a tough basketball game, a game that they pretty much, played pretty well in, obviously without some stars. But Philly did get it done. Losing that game. Prior to that, they had won 5 out of 6. And we do have the Wizards here having Sacramento Kings on deck tomorrow. So I just look at it as, man, it's a pretty small number here. It's obviously going down. Cleveland first half does seem very appealing to me as well. I'm going to stay off this game, Jim, simply because of no Jared Allen. And then I was hoping that Kyle Kuzma wasn't going to play. Obviously, him coming back is going to give them the Wizards a little juice as well. So I understand. I understand, some interest in liking Wizards with the points here, but I do think it is a Cavaliers spot after losing at home. And as I mentioned, were playing better basketball up until that loss to the Sixers. But no Jared Allen for me, no bueno, because they're light with the bigs and light on the bench, period.
I think the Wiz can stay within this number. What's keeping you off Cleveland first half?
No Jared Allen. I mean, I kind of do want to, get in on this. It wasn't available last night, and then I just looked into a little more. Seen Kyle Kuzma was playing. I've seen no Jared Allen again, so I was like, do I really need to bet this basketball game?
I think I'm gonna move on the Wizards. I want the 5.5. By the way, Michigan State taking control. That one, I wish I hadn't have gotten off there. Yeah, I can get the 5.5. I'm interested in it. All right, let's move on to the next ball on the board. 8 p.m. Eastern. Minnesota Timberwolves 35-35, 15-18 on the road at Chicago Bulls 31-37, 18-16 at home. United States in Chicago, Illinois. I would have never thought that record would have Minnesota in a spot where they don't need to play in the play-in. Never in my wildest dreams in the Western Conference, the mighty Western Conference, would I think that would be possible. Bulls 31-37, 18-16 at home. United States in Chicago, Illinois. Minnesota 2-3 over their past 5, playing pace 99.33 possessions a game. Bo Jackson moving on the Bulls money line. Chicago 2-3 over their past 5, playing pace 96.30 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the aligned history here for Wolves, Bulls. Sorry, move over here, and here we go. We have the Bulls opening up -3 at +104. They're now -2.5, -106. Totals wise, open up at 225, dropped a half point to 224. Cash wise here, 53% of the tickets, 83% of cash on the Bulls. It's a lot of money on the Bulls there, and it's moved a half point towards the Wolves. Total wise, we've seen this drop a half point. Cash wise on the total, 81% of tickets and 86% of cash on the over. So I guess some confusing market analysis here. Timberwolves lost their third in 4 games, 104-102 at home versus the Celtics on Wednesday. Those losses came at home, the 3 of the 4 losses. They've won 4 straight road games. It's Ant Edwards, man, 28 points, 10 boards. Bulls coming off having their 2-game winning streak snapped, a 117-114 loss at home to Sacramento on Wednesday. DeRozan went for 33. And Levine, who's been shooting much better, coming off a game where he went 7-22 from the floor. Is this a bounce-back spot for Levine? What do you think here? Dutch, take it away. Wolves, Bulls.
Yeah, Jim, this is a real tough game for me, man. I wanted to get to the window with the Bulls. Kept me off of it is 2 things. One, they do have Miami on deck tomorrow, okay? I think they care a little bit more about that game personally, although they did get blown out by these boys by 24 there December 18th earlier this year in Minnesota. So you look for a revenge spot here, and then also losing a tough basketball game where they looked like they were going to pull it out against Sacramento and De'Aaron Fox happened. So that probably sits with them a little bit. And the Wolves are 1-4 ATS last 5 in Chi-Town. But the fact that they have a back-to-back in Miami and a team I think they care more about tomorrow, a game they care more about, as well as the fact that you have a Minnesota Timberwolves team, you can't glance at. They went into LA and won. You can say what you will about the Lakers, but they beat them both in LA, as you touched on it, 4 straight road wins in Atlanta and in Sacramento. Those are all impressive wins. So to think that they can't go into Sacramento and cover or even win the basketball game, I would be lying to you. So could make a case for both sides here. Wanted to bet Chicago. Thought I was going to be on Chicago. Looked into it a little more and thought maybe there's some value here on Minnesota, actually, the way they've been playing on the road. And they haven't been doing it against, slummy teams. They've been going and beating teams that have been playing very good basketball.
Yeah.
Outside of Atlanta.
Yeah. The fact that all these bets have come in on the Bulls and the market's moved a little bit towards the Wolves, says that as well. There's Sammy Comer sweating out Michigan State. Go get it. I guess I stay off tonight. Bo breaking down reasons why the Bulls should take care of business. Piker says if Naz Reid sits in or Gobert sits, Vucevic will be the difference in this one. Gobert's playing as far as I know. So I guess, market tricky here. If I was, just firing shots, I probably would go against all this money on Chicago, but I don't know if I have the balls to do that. I don't. Let's move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. New Orleans Pelicans 33-36, 11-23 on the road. At the Houston Rockets 17-52, 11-24 at home. We're at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Both teams 2-3 over their past 5. Pelicans playing at a pace 99.7 possessions a game. Houston playing at a pace 98.94 possessions a game. Sammy Comer took Wizards first quarter. That's an interesting look. I kind of prefer full game at this point, but I get it. Pelicans, Rockets. Let's discuss line movement here. Rockets +6.5, now +5.5, a 1-point move towards them. And then total wise, opened up at 231. It's dropped 3 points to 228. A big drop here. And Joe Yurvich says, let's hope Minnie wins and fade them tomorrow in Toronto. Is Pelicans even a bird? Yes, I believe Pelicans a bird. Big dick bird. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. 40% of tickets, 45% of cash on the Pelicans. Some bigger bets on the Pelicans slightly, but market moving towards the Rockets. 58% of tickets, 61% cash on the under. I think it's just moved a little bit too far for me. Pelicans coming off their second loss, 3 games, 123-108 at home to the Lakers on Tuesday. They got embarrassed. The score didn't do it justice. New Orleans hasn't won, hasn't done that. They're 4-9 since February 10th. No Zion, no Alvarado. Rockets coming off their second straight win, 114-110 at home over the Lakers on Wednesday. KPJ, 27 points. Houston now 4-3 since that 11-game losing streak. And over their past 7 games, their offense ranks 10th in the league. LJ from H-Towns on Pelicans Rockets first half under 111. Pelicans 22-12 to the under first half on the road. Rockets 21-13 to the under first half at home. KD in the house says Pels 8-0 against bottom 4 teams. Rance says pass. Will Houston pull players early to tank? And Jake Fagan, by the way, loving the spot for the Bulls. Take it away for us here, Dutch. Pelicans Rockets.
Yeah, man, I don't really like this basketball game, but I do think you can make a very strong case for the Houston Rockets, and probably why the line has dropped out of their favor here. Pelicanos have beat them, 5 straight times in a row, and I just look at it to, simply be twice this year as well. Beat them by they beat them by 13 in both games, by double digits, by 13 actually in both of them. So Houston has fucked around and not only beat the Boston Celtics impressively, but also the Lakers there in that back-to-back that they had. So I would only look Houston here, a team that's beat them, twice already this year, beat them 5 straight times. And I just don't trust the Pelicanos, to be quite honest with you. So if you want to bet this basketball game, I still think there's value with the Houston Rockets at 5.5, because I wouldn't be shocked if they win this basketball game outright. You could say they're tanking, but they just beat the Boston Celtics and the LA Lakers. So I don't know how much they're tanking right now. They got some players back. They're gritty. Not a fan of this basketball team, but I'm definitely not laying 5.5 with the Pelicanos on the road.
Yeah, I get it. I completely get it. I guess the market in betwixt and in between as well. I guess it's a pretty ugly spot with all the action we've got going on. All right, let's move on to an interesting spot here. 8 p.m. Eastern, Memphis Grizzlies 41-27, 13-22 on the road at San Antonio Spurs 18-51, 12-24 at home AT&T Center, San Antonio, Texas. Memphis 3-2 over the past 5, playing the pace of 101.00 possessions a game. San Antonio 2-3, playing at a pace of 102.37 possessions a game. Take a look at the line history here in this one. We have Memphis opening up as 7.5-point favorites, and now 8.5-point favorites. Totals wise, open up at 231, now up to 234.5. Excuse me. Cash wise, we have. Here we go. We have 71% of the tickets, 70% of cash on the Spurs, but the market's moving towards the Grizz. Let me just see what that did again. That went from 7.5 to 8.5. And then we have cash-wise, 62% ticket, 69% cash on the under, and it's gone up 3 points. So Memphis comes in off having their 3-game winning streak snapped, and 138-119 loss at Miami on Wednesday. Easy double up. Miami -4, and then the over. Heat start playing the overs all of a sudden. Jaren Jackson, 25 points. Luke Kennard, 14. Zaire Williams, 12. Tyus Jones, Desmond Bane each went for 11. Then Bane was ejected. That's why he only went for 11. Flagrant 2 midway through the third. So no Ja, no Steven Adams. Grizzlies are 3-3 through the first 6 games of Ja's 8-game suspension. I said pretty adamantly, and I've followed along pretty closely, that he's not in alcohol rehab. And he's going to be back. Jenkins expects him back on Monday, practicing with the team. Look, he's just trying to save some endorsements here, and he's just saying what he needs to say. And this isn't a kid with a look. I don't have the inside scoop, but I don't see this as a kid with an alcohol problem, no drug problem, no nothing. He wants that life. He wants that gangster life. And when you're worth $1 billion, you should probably let that shit go. Memphis is
he's just trying to please the eye, is what he's trying to do, the public eye,
Yeah. No, Memphis has won just 2 of their past 14 road games. And can they be trusted here on the road? I mean, 13-22 away from home, but they won 2 of their past 14. Spurs coming off their second loss in 3 games, 137-128 in overtime at home versus an undermanned Mavericks squad on Wednesday. It was ugly. Keldon Johnson, missed those 2 free throws, but got the alley-oop, at the buzzer to keep them alive. Went for 27 points. Malachi Branham continues to impress, 20. Romeo Langford 17. Devontae Graham having a chance to, keep your career alive, and he's not doing it. San Antonio was playing second game of a home back-to-back. No Shohan, no Zach Collins, no Bates Diop, no Devin Vassell. They're all supposed to be available tonight. Take it away for us here at Dutchy, Memphis, San Antonio.
Yeah, man, this is kind of a lot like the game we just talked about. As we mentioned here, and this is the thing about this game is you're actually getting a better number. And money's coming in on Memphis. It looks like the line's at least you're getting better. If you like San Antonio here, it's hard to bet them, but I mean, they lost these boys 10 fucking straight times, and 3 times this year already. But those games that went to overtime, and those 3 games they won by an average of 5 points per game. So I think there's extreme value here with San Antonio, but it's very hard to bet the Spurs. The number 1 point to me here is what we talked about in the Golden State game. Is why I like Atlanta so much. Is obviously they're playing the Golden State Warriors tomorrow back at the crib. The Grizzlies have been suspect as fuck on the road as well, as Jimmy mentioned. Do you have enough balls? Do you want to have the sweat in your life to go bet San Antonio? But I do believe the Spurs cover this basketball game. I mean, you lose to a basketball team 10 straight times, 3 times this year. And as I mentioned, these games are by 5 points. So there's extreme value here on the Spurs, but I'm just not a team I like to back.
God, this is. I just wish the market was sort of slightly moving in their direction.
It was 8.5 last night. Though it's 9 now, right? Or no?
No, right now it's just 8.5 across the board.
Oh,
let's see what. So I guess you're right. Let's see what Bet Online opened this up at. Bet Online opened this up at.
I seen 8.5 last night, so I was just thinking, man, that's probably good money.
And it immediately went to the Spurs too. This opened up at 8 at Bet Online at 2 p.m. At 2:44 is down to 7.
No shit.
God, you were right. I don't know if I can sit here.
It's hard to do.
Our leader in our NCAA brackets contest in the house. What up, Dre?
It's hard to do to sit here and bet the NBA with March, to be having the Spurs in your pocket and the Houston Rockets in your pocket, let alone just in the NBA, but especially when you got March Madness going on. I was like, God damn, what am I doing to myself?
Yeah,
but I do see value on both of those games, but I'm not betting either one, so I don't blame anybody.
I don't know if I can move on the Rockets. I mean, are the Pelicans still trying?
Yeah, I mean, they have their moments, They have their moments, but I just feel like Zion and BI don't give a fuck, so it kind of trickles down to the team.
Could I sit here with the Wizards, Rockets, and Pelicans? Wizards, Rockets, and Spurs. I could. The
Spurs to me would be the best look out of the 3, and that's hard to say, but absolutely, you're not losing a better, getting a worse number. Really, 8.5 is solid. I think out of those 3, San Antonio would be the one.
All right, I'm close. We finished with 2 fun games. 2 fun games here. 10 p.m. Eastern, Boston Celtics 48-22, 22-13 on the road. Portland Trailblazers 31-38, 17-16 at home. We're at the Moda Center in Portland, Oregon. Boston 3-2 over their past 5, playing the pace 99.04 possessions a game. Portland 1-4, playing the pace of 100.30 possessions a game. We have, the issue was, you have Dame coming back. I guess he's listed as probable, at least it was this morning. Portland's gone from plus 3.5 to 4.5. So does that, there was an idea that Tatum might miss this one. I think he was listed as questionable, but the movement here tells us that he's going to be in. This total opened up at 229.5. It's now at 230. Taking a look at the cash flow here, of 24% of tickets, 59% of cash on the Blazers, but market moving in the other direction. 71% of tickets, 80% of cash on the over, and that's working here. Boston 3-2 playing at the pace 99.04 possessions game. Portland 1-4 playing at the pace 100.3 possessions game. Celtics come in off their 3rd loss in 4 games, 104-102 at Minnesota. Oh, that was their win. Sorry, 3rd win.
They won. Yeah.
4 games. I don't know why I wrote loss there. 3rd win in 4 games, 104-102 Minnesota on Wednesday. Jaylen Brown goes for 35, 5 threes. Tatum looked bad. 0 for 8 from 3, 4 of 16 from the field. He's 2 of 18 from 3 over his past 2 games. Boston 2-1 on the 6-game road trip. Time Lord going to miss the 7th straight game. Portland comes in off their 4th straight loss, 123-107 at home to the Knicks on Tuesday. Their second stretch where they have this second game where they have 8 of 9 at home. Jeremy Grant, I don't know if I forget when I saw this morning. I have it up. I can pull it up, but dealing with a quad injury. I wonder if you think he will be in line. And then just quickly, with Dame saying he's the best Blazer in history and all that stuff, the difference was Clyde Drexler was a winner. He took that team to the NBA Finals. Yeah, Dame, you have more skill than Clyde Drexler. Sure, maybe. but you are on a losing team year after year after year after year. So I don't like him saying anything like that. Just Clyde won with this team. Now why don't you win with this team, and then we'll call you that, and then we'll anoint you. Take it away for us here, Dutch. Celtics, Blazers.
Yeah, man, I'm a big Dame guy too, but yeah, you got to buy in on that defensive end too, bro. It's not all about just offensive numbers. So, and you got to win too. And Clyde was a team player and played on the defensive end as well. But yeah, I'm a Dame time guy, but yeah, sometimes just these boys just need to shut the fuck up. But yeah, I like the Celtics here, and I can see people maybe thinking, oh, the Blazers, it's a revenge spot at the house after getting blown out by these boys by 22 here early March in Beantown. And that's something I do look at. But in that, I just think in that game, JB had a horrible game. He only had 11 points. Boston actually got out rebounded. They were in cruise control in that basketball game. Didn't get a good game from JB, as I mentioned, and still won by over 20 points. To me, there's just levels to it, Jim. And I personally just think the Celtics, are just on a whole nother level than the Portland Trailblazers. Not to mention, you got Jeremy Grant, who's questionable. Might go. I don't know, to be quite honest with you. I don't give a fuck, really. I don't think he's going to be 100% if he does play, and I don't think he's enough to stop me back in the Leprechauns here. I did get it at 3.5 last night, so we'll get the best number for show purposes. But I think they're too big, and not necessarily down low. As we know, Portland is super suspect. They do have Nurkic back. Hasn't looked the same since he's came back. They don't have much bigs, and obviously without Time Lord out, you could maybe say that about Boston. But I do believe Grant Williams and Al Horford will be enough down low. And then you're getting Blake a little bit here and there, but whatever about him. But simply the guards, the forwards, they're too big. They're going to swarm Simons and Dame. You got Marcus Smart, White's nice. You got Brogdon, who's big. And then, of course, obviously JB and Jason Tatum. They're just too big in the wings, in my opinion, and then in the backcourt. I think they're going to be an awful lot of trouble offensively and defensively for the backcourt of the Portland Trailblazers. Dame can get his. He can get 35 or 40, just like Steph can, and they still going to lose this basketball game. It's a small number for Boston. Boston has not played the best of late, but they still have won 3 of the last 4 basketball games. Marcus Smart's been looking a little suspect at times, looked a little bit better in Minnesota. Obviously, if you're going to start him at point, we need him to maintain and look an awful lot better than he did there in that stretch where they were losing all these fucking big leads. So Marcus Smart needs to play under control, contain basketball, focus in on Dame time. They're deeper, they're better, they're better coached, and obviously, in my opinion, they're just simply too big on the perimeter against Portland. So I like the Celtics here full game, and on top of it, the Blazers obviously lost 4 straight to suspect teams as well. And you think, oh, they get blown out, they're going to bounce back. They got blown out by the Pelicanos, down by 37. And then they turn around and get blown the fuck out by New York a couple nights later at the crib. So getting blown out is something this team does. They're 1-10 ATS last 11 after losing the game by double digits or more. So it doesn't affect them to get blown the fuck out. Not to mention they're 3-11-1 ATS last 15 at the house against a team with a winning record on the road, which we have in the Boston Celtics. Love the Leprechauns here. It is St. Patrick's Day, I believe, right? That's why I got all this motherfucking green on. Leprechauns early and motherfucking often. Full game minus 3.5. It's good money. I believe I've got to get the 4. You give me a 4, Jim?
I can't unless it's minus 117. There's a discrepancy here depending on what books that you trust for line movement. Like Jake Fagan saying majority money on spread, money line DraftKings, but the lines move towards the Trailblazers. Offshore, it hasn't. At Pinnacle, Bet Online. So I see the money market moving towards Celtics. So it just depends on what you trust here for what to back. But no,
the strong chance it's going to happen to me in most of my plays. My bad, Jim. But okay. that does happen a lot with me. You can vouch for that. So win or lose, I don't give a fuck about the money on that situation.
Yeah,
I did see people making a case for the Blazers here. They did lose March 18th in Boston, by 22. But I just don't think it matters to this team getting blown out. As from the numbers I told you, they get blown out, they get blown out again. So Boston just got to take care of the basketball and knock down open perimeter shots, and they win this game by double digits easily, in my opinion.
So this, even like, this opened at 7:28 a.m. at Bet Online, and it's moved towards Boston. Same at Pinnacle. So depends on what you're looking at. The only thing I can get you a 4 at minus 117.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, -4,
It's only
-1.
half a point difference, so not the best juice, but I need to get something on the board here.
All right, let's roll on to the final spot on the board. 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Dallas Mavericks 35-35, 13-21 on the road at the LA Lakers 34-36, 18-16 home. Crypto.com arena. Los Angeles, California. Dallas 2-3 over the past 5, playing the pace 100.41 possessions a game. Lakers 3-2, playing the pace 100.40 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line movement here for our final game of the show. Thank you guys for joining us over here when the stream went down. Lakers opening up at -5.5. They're now -4.5. A point move towards the Dallas Mavericks. Totals wise, opened up at 224, now all the way up to 227.5. And clearly, the expectation is that, and you can let us know, is that both Kyrie and Luka will be in the lineup. They both practiced yesterday in their 137-128 overtime win at San Antonio without Kyrie or Luka. Christian Wood went for 28 and 13. Jaden Hardy and Dwight Powell went for 22. Josh Green 21. Bullock 20 and 13. Lakers coming off their second loss in 3 games, 114-110 at the Rockets on Wednesday. No AD, second game of a back-to-back, but they've won 8 of 12. And in the 9 games that LeBron's been out, they've gone 5-4. So without, Austin Reeves came in and did his best, 24 for Austin Reeves, 18 for Russell. Vanderbilt 13 and 10. And RotoWire has Luka out.
Yeah, he's out, bro.
Okay, thank you. Take it away for us here, Dutch. Last game on the board, Mavericks, Lakers.
Yeah, man, I think it's the Lakers spot here. I do. The numbers gotten a little carried away, though, Jim. I think the Lakers, they've been getting kind of beat up here by the Mavericks. Had lost 4 straight to them prior to winning, in Dallas, actually, February 26th. As a 4.5 dog. As we recall, I believe they're down 27, 28 points in that game. Luka and Kyrie were going off. And all of a sudden, the Lakers flipped the switch. LBJ was in that game. And they won in Dallas. So I do believe the LA Lakers have significant confidence when they're going to see these Maverick jerseys. Not to mention after getting beat down by them 4 straight. They had won 4 out of the last 5. Prior to a loss to the Houston Rockets. Now, I know I did say the Houston Rockets beat the Boston Celtics, but when you lose, it don't matter who's on the court. When you lose to that team, I'm obviously going to stick a little bit more. You do have AD back in the lineup ready to go. I do believe he will be a fucking nightmare for these boys. As our boy Rand says, AD props, I don't know. Yeah, it's busy. It's a risk, obviously, if he stays healthy. But Dallas has absolutely nothing for him. On the other side, though, you could look at Christian Wood, though. I do think Christian Wood will have a game. He's been playing a ball, having the ball in his hands a lot more, playing pretty solid without Kyrie and obviously Luka. I don't know if Kyrie plays tonight. I would wait, obviously, see maybe you can get a better number on the Lakers, because if he does suit up, you would think he'd want to go into LA and kind of get a game. But if you're really trying to guess what Kyrie's doing, you're really going out on a fucking limb. So I'm not going to do that. I do think this is a Lakers spot here. I think after losing to Houston, it sticks a little bit. And then I just simply think they need to win basketball games. And the roster with D'Angelo Russell playing the way he is and having AD on the court, I think they easily beat the Mavericks here with or without Kyrie.
-4.5 at -111 is the best we can get you. How's that?
All right, let's do it.
I think I want to run with you on this.
Yeah, we'll do it. We got 2 for the show. Yeah, I like that.
I think I want to run with you on this spot.
I don't like what I seen out of the Mavericks. I wasn't liking what I seen out of the Mavericks with my guy Luka. And if you know me, you know I fuck with Luka the Don. But I'm telling you right now, this team is a fade. And Kyrie has only went over there and kind of brought his Kyrie cancer culture to that locker room now. So they lack ball handlers. Tim Hardaway Jr. has been beat up ever since he kind of went lights out. And they don't have they don't have anybody in the front court. So AD should be able to do what he wants. And even with a little bit of lack of size that the Lakers have, shouldn't come in any concern here against the Dallas Mavericks front court.
Yeah, I like it. It's 5.5 at Bet365, 4.5 at Pinnacle. So I'm going to wait on this and expect a change there. So I'm not going to bet it right now. I'm going to wait till it comes down, but I like it. Cashville Rican giving a shout out to Tage Thompson. I need him to come out today because I want to bet the Sabres right now. Excellent job, Dutch. Thank you for your patience here when we started late and then we lost our stream. So thank you so much. Let's review action in NBA here. In NBA Trilogy play today, Warriors, Hawks over 247.5 for LJ. I'm going to move on the Wizards plus 5.5. I'm going to move on the Rockets plus, was it 5.5? I believe so. Yeah. And I'm going to move on the Spurs. This is an ugly card for me. The Spurs plus 8.5. And then Dutch is on the Celtics -4. And the Lakers -4.5. And when the line gets down there, I'll move on that too. All right, I'm going to review all of the other college basketball action and NHL action here shortly. But Dutch, thank you for your time, my man. Thank you for sharing Fridays with us. Next stop, San Antonio. Can't wait to see you in San Antonio, my man. It's going to be so much fun. When do you get in?
I get in Friday around noon. Yeah, around noon. So,
Friday around noon. Cool.
maybe we do NBA pub at the Friday, or someone take my morning spot or something they're going to be in, and then I'll do the afternoon show or something. But we'll be live at Southtown 101, right?
Yes, we will be. We will be live at Southtown 101. We got the poker tournament that night, and so yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely will be in the air when I should be right here.
No
so
worries.
you might want to a week in advance on that. Might want to get that taken care of. We'll talk though.
Cool.
Hopefully do something. But yeah, man, always a blessing here on a fresh Friday, breaking bread with you, Jim, and the chat. Looking for two winners, man. Looking for two winners. I'm big on the Hawks as well, but obviously that number got a little out of control. So we do have live bets out there, fellas and ladies, of course. Watch the game. If the Hawks start out slow, they will pick it up eventually. So you can maybe a live bet there, chance to live bet that. But yeah, man, let's get it, Jim. Appreciate you, my guy.
I love it. Appreciate you, man. There he is, Dutch Boy Fresh. Follow him on Twitter at Dutch Boy Fresh. All right, let's review college basketball here, and we have a huge possible upset in the cards. Kennesaw State up 10, 61-51. Michigan State did get that cash. I should have moved on them, but I didn't. Bobano is on Kennesaw State plus 12.5 in the over 152. That over is not going to hit unless Xavier can come back and push it to overtime. UC Santa Barbara up 1 point on Baylor. Good thing that got me off of Baylor. Bobano on UCSB plus 11 and the over 141. That over 141, that's on pace to get there. The live total 145.5. Oh, I take that back. That live total is the live total in Kennesaw's Xavier one is 152.5. So maybe you can get there. Maybe you can get to both. I'm on St. Mary's -4. It's 15-14 in VCU St. Mary's. Vermont plus 10.5 for both of Bobano and I. Then Bobano's on Pitt plus 5. He's on the over 147.5 in NC State Wolfpack. Creighton, he's on Iona first half plus 5.5. So's Big Ragu, and I'm going to join him. Cabby gave us Miami first half full game -1.5 as well as USC. Memphis first half -116. Kentucky first half -1.5. Then I'm going to move on Kentucky full game. Bobano's on Miami money line, and he's on the over 153.5 in Grand Canyon. Gonzaga, he's on FAU plus 2 in the over 151.5. He's on the over 139.5 in Montana State, Kansas State, and we're both on Kent State plus 4.5. And that. Oh, in NHL, he's on the Sabres money line -134, and the Sabres team total over 3.5. I think I'm going to add the Sabres -1. Then Carolina, Toronto, we are off, but he's thinking about Toronto. He's on the over 6.5 in St. Louis, Washington, and he closes up shop with the over 6.5 in Columbus, Anaheim. I got to join him on that one. There you have it. Dre says he'll be in San Antonio. Looking forward to catch with you all. That's great news, Dre. Can't wait, man. Dan Kelly says, gotta love all these big dog winners in the tourney. Nunya with the over 56 first half in at St. Mary's, looking to cash that. Joe Yeager saying he thinks Hardaway and Irving play. Thank you guys for coming and joining us over here when our stream dropped. It means a ton. We have more action for you, though. A World Baseball Classic action. Are we going to see the WBC background for you, Jose?
No, it's St. Patrick's Day.
Okay, respect. I respect that.
I respect my Irish brothers.
All right, I respect that. WBC official pick action for Jose. And don't forget about his Saturday stream. Jose, take it away. The floor is yours.
Yes. So good times would be had at this Baseball World Classic. I've enjoyed betting on it proficiently. 4-2 on Say Hey minutes. And now we're going to move our action over here. Shout out to you, Jim. We have two fantastic games. We finally have some bettable money lines, Jim, because I don't know if you've seen our friends from Japan have been minus like 10,000 in every game they've played so far. A shout out to my guys. But now we have Puerto Rico, Mexico tonight, and I will be on Razor and Cab's live stream for the first hour. I think for the first hour because it is St. Patrick's Day, and we are drinking, Jimmy. We're also drinking today. I'm also celebrating my Irish brothers that way as well.
Respect.
Almost done with the beer, so that's how you know I'm feeling good. Thank you.
Excellent.
But Puerto Rico, Mexico tonight. It's going to be a great game. Everyone's seen the Edwin Diaz news by now, so they're losing a big starter, big closer there. And then Mexico, a good squad on their own. And we have the game of the century. Jimmy, the game of the century, and you mentioned it, the live stream this Saturday evening. It'll start around it's 7:10 or 7 p.m. start time for the game. It'll start about 10 minutes before the U.S. versus Venezuela. I've never been as stressed for a baseball game in my life, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Pitching matchups have been announced for that too. You want to guess who's pitching for the U.S.? Any guesses? You're muted right now, so if you guess, you can't hear you.
Phil Necro, Gaylord Perry.
No, they would have been better. Both options would be better than this one. Lance Lynn and his fat ass is numbling on that mound versus my close personal friend Martin Perez. So it'll be a whole lot of fun there as well. So you can hear some planes flying through as well here, but. Officially, I am taking 2 money line plays. Everyone knows where I'm going with the second game. So we'll start with the first game, Puerto Rico versus Mexico here. Lines are at minus 110 each side. It is my good personal friend for this game, Julio Urias versus Marcus Stroman. Noted bad guy Marcus Stroman as well. Bad guy Marcus Stroman. Sides with Kyrie Irving on certain topics kind of guy Marcus Stroman as well. So that's what I learned about Marcus Stroman recently. So I'm going to go ahead and take Mexico and a little bit of an upset here. Honestly, I thought Puerto Rico might be even bigger favorites. I hope you can hear this plane flying over me right now. Jesus, this is America coming to get my ass right now. God damn, I've got a drone coming after me right now. But I've got Puerto Rico and Mexico here. I'm taking Mexico to win this game, minus 110. I believe in Julio Urias. I can't believe this fucking drone hasn't hit my house yet. How fucking hard this plane's flying over me right now. But Mexico to win this game. Julio did not pitch that great in the first matchup he had. I forget who it was against now, but he didn't pitch well. And I think he can bounce back and pitch better here. The pitch limits are also increased, so it's 80 now for starters. So that's going to be very beneficial for Mexico as well. I also wouldn't be surprised if we saw another starter to piggyback off of him. I don't know if that's what they'll do here, but Taijuan Walker, Pablo Sandoval, both good starters that they have as well. And Randy Arozarena has been a fucking god in this tournament. He's been just incredible. So I think Mexico get it done and beat Puerto Rico. A Puerto Rico squad that I've been down on. I'm shocked they beat the Dominican Republic. That was a great upset. I didn't see that coming. And I don't like Puerto Ricans anymore after my experience with them at the World Baseball Classic, making a kid cry, having a screaming match with some random stranger. So yeah, that's my full analysis for game one there.
Wow. And you've disliked a whole nation now.
Oh yeah, no, it's really, I hold grudges. I was happy I made that kid cry. I don't like Jose Barrios. I made that very known. And I fucked that guy. They're Puerto Rico, a country of crybabies when we're beating their ass.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. All right.
See, I can say these things because, I'm Hispanic. I'm from Venezuela. I've experienced this before. I've experienced all of this.
I don't remember you being this type. I remember this is the Jose because I remember it's the kind, caring. But changes now. We have changes.
Well, I mean, there have been some changes. Sometimes you have to bristle, Jimmy. Sometimes you have to bristle. But yeah, I become primal when it comes to baseball. Big bullet bouquet. That's good, Jarek White. That's good. What was the name yesterday? The communist name?
Pinco. Jose Pinco. Yeah,
Jose Pinco.
I like that one a lot. Jose Pinco.
I can't wait to see the caricatures in the newspaper of me with I don't know what they're gonna do for Venezuelans. They'll throw some big buck teeth on me. I don't know what they're gonna do. The characters are gonna be ugly.
I love it. I'm excited. So Mexico, and then number 2. What's number 2, my friend?
Well, number 2 is difficult to say here because obviously I want to wait. I want to sit back and wait because guess what, Jimmy? I know for a fact, and Jimmy, your site might not have this number. Everyone in their fucking mother is going to bet the United States this Baseball World Classic. Earlier today, it was plus 105 for Venezuela against the United States. And yes, that game was game 2. I'm talking about the biggest, most important game of my life, et cetera, et cetera. Now the U.S. is up to minus 130, plus 110 for Venezuela. So I'm going to take it now just for show purposes at my plus 110. But I'm just going to keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting because people are going to keep betting the United States. And guess what? We're going to fucking pimp slap the living shit out of Lance Lynn. That guy sucked last year. He's fat. He's overweight. He's actually a perfect picture of America, too. He's a loser. He's a loser. And we're going to get to him early while I have noted Yankee hater Martin Perez on the bump. Following him will be Luis Garcia. I've got the other fat bastard on my team, Jose Alvarado. Shout out to Rihanna. And we're going to win this ball game, Jimmy. We're going to win this ball game. And guess what? You can watch me have an emotional breakdown, a panic attack, and everything in between this Saturday night. You can watch the live stream for the UFC. And once it starts getting good, once it starts getting great, it's going to be the United States, Venezuela, my close personal friends against those fucking losers. Who's this Mookie Betts guy? Fuck that guy. Mike Trout, fuck that guy. Because that's what they're going to do. They're going to lose this game. They're a bunch of choke artists, and it's going to be a heavy, heavy bullpen game for the United States. I'll tell you that right now. It's going to be Lance Lynn for as many innings as you can give you because you also have an MLB analyst. Let's forget that, Jim. Let's not forget that. The United States is so cocky. They're so cocky. They think they're so good that they think they can bring a fucking MLB analyst who's never managed a fucking baseball game in his life off the street and manage his ball club. That guy fucking sucks. Mark DeRosa is going to fumble this game for them, and the United States is going to lose, and everyone's going to be, should we even play the WBC anymore? We can't even send our best players. No, that's what's going to happen because the United States, again, when they don't win, they have to fucking cry, and they don't know what's coming to them. The United States loses this game. Venezuela makes it to the finals against my babies from Japan, and from then on, I'll be cackling and laughing while I cash both my futures. Somehow.
James also letting us know that there's a Venezuelan fighter tomorrow. Omar Morales.
Betting him too. Make that official too then. We obviously keep official picks on this show. I was up to close to 10 before this hiatus of mine, and now I'm back. I'll make that official too because what do I say, James S? Shout out to you, James S. James S knows. James S knows. Always bet Venezuela. Who won that derby, that big race this year, Jim?
We don't talk about that.
Fucking Venezuelan jockey. That's who won. We always bet Venezuela.
A lot of people asking if you're wearing a Ducks.
Yes, I am. It's green. Ducks fly together. That's what I say. We fly together because, Jimmy, for the first time in WBC history, Venezuela has their shit together. They have a great coach in Omar Lopez. He does a great job. He's hilarious, too. And they're playing for one reason, to put Venezuela on the map and retire Miggy as a fucking champion. They have said it. This means just as much to these Venezuelan players, to these foreign players, as a Super Bowl would to the fucking 49ers. This is so important to them. And the United States, they don't give a fuck, Jimmy. They don't give a fuck. And we're going to come out there, pimp slap them in the mouth. So I'm taking Venezuela money line plus 110. And if you want a little over-under action as well, I would lean on the under. It's minus 130 at 9.5. So that's juiced as hell. But I think it's going to be a tight ball game. It's going to be a tight game because they're going to be switching bullpens or switching pitchers left and right. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun here. I'm going to be very excited for this ball game, Jim.
And we have a live stream. When does the live stream start?
It'll be at 10 minutes before the game. So 6:10 Eastern, 5:10 Central, if I'm doing my math right. And obviously, I don't do Pacific time because it's very difficult on my pea brain. But Venezuela versus the United States again. There's me with my fucking primal eyes right there against all those fuckers. And it's biggest baseball game of my life. I'll tell you this, Jimmy. I would trade a Red Sox World Series for a Venezuela Baseball World Classic Championship. I would do it in a heartbeat.
Wow. Very, very, very exciting. What a huge weekend ahead for you, my friend.
Oh, and by the way, Mike M, Picks from Dave will be joining me as well. So shout out to them. Bobano going to be joining as well. And I'll be on Razor and Cabs live stream tonight, watching Puerto Rico, Mexico live. So it'll be a whole lot of fun. Son Dizzle, you're not from America. You're Canadian. Don't root for them. This is the anti-American alliance, Son Dizzle. Come on.
Wildly exciting weekend here at Pub Sports Radio. Thank you all for those of you that came over to our stream when the other stream went down. Thank you. It means a ton. But to you guys, let's get that cash. Bo Jackson, Son Dizzle, Mike M, Viper, and B, Loopy, Nunya.
Oh, by the way, Jim, guess who has Kennesaw State beating Xavier in their bracket?
Who?
This fucking guy.
Well, Xavier's ahead, and they're
really no. Fuck, they were up by 10 just like 2 rants ago. Fuck,
they could still do it. Derek White, because a lot of energy was probably used up to get back in this game. But
damn it, a lot of energy was used in those rants too. I wasn't looking at the screen. Son of a bitch.
Jay Peasy, J Dub, Joe Yurkovich. Thank you guys so much for joining us over here at the second stream. Dan Kelly, Piker. You guys are a great group. Cashville Rican. Thank you guys for your support. We have a huge week. Huge weekend. Mark Nick, great job on Michigan State. I should have moved on to it. I was going to, but I got talked off. It's okay. Huge weekend ahead. All these shows, so nonstop action here, Pub Sports Radio. Let's finish the week strong. We had a great week last week.
If you need me Saturday, I know you do Sunday night live stream. I will make myself available for whatever baseball game is there as well.
Beautiful.
And as well, the championship game is on the semifinals on Tuesday, and the championship is on Monday and Tuesday. There we go. That's better. So I will, if Venezuela or Japan make it that far, which let's fucking pray to God they both do. And luckily for me, they're on opposite sides of the bracket, so that's also great as well. Let's pray to God that I'll have a live stream up as well then.
I love it. Jarek White says, leche caliente. Hot milk, baby.
Hot milk.
Let's get that cash. Let's keep rolling.
Let's pepper. This is what Japan does. They're grinding the pepper, as they say.
No,
grind that pepper.
No, they're milking their bookies.